Assalamualaikum dear students. Hope all of you are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to NIEVS Home School. I am Naima Akhtar Tisha, Assistant Teacher Science, Morning Shift of National Ideal English Version School. Today I am going to take class 9 chemistry class based on chapter 1. Let's start our class. Dear students, look, chapter 1 is placed in half yearly syllabus and it's our lecture number 2. Let's start our class. Open your book. Our chapter name is Concept of Chemistry. Our chapter name is Concept of Chemistry. Already I have given one class based on this chapter, is lecture number 2 based on chapter 1, the last part of this chapter. Let's see. Today our first topic is the scope of chemistry. Wherever there is element, there is chemistry. That means in this world, where you find any element, chemistry will be related with it. There are continuous chemical changes occurring in the air and also in the soil. Continuously chemical reaction or chemical changes are occurring. The earth was highly heated at the moment of its creation. When at the beginning of the earth, creation of the earth, it was very heated condition. Gradually it emit the heat, then atmosphere was created, and after that living organism and other thing are appeared in the world. There was no wind nor any animal. It took millions of years of chemical reaction for the creation of atmosphere and water and thousands of other elements. These altogether combine to the habitability of the earth for animals. That means after creation of atmosphere and water and other element, then gradually the life has come to the earth. And this line which I have indicated here are important, that's why I have indicated here and I will discuss about that. Now let's see here some scope of chemistry. In our everyday life, everything is occurring around us is related with chemistry. Like look here, first substance, at first air. Most air contains nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, then other particles, mostly oxygen. It is around 20% oxygen is present in the air, and when we inhale air, the oxygen in it reacts with the food substance inside our body and produce energy. That means here is a chemical reaction occur in our body. When we take air, this air react with food and produce energy, and this is mainly a chemical reaction. Then when we drink water, we take hydrogen, oxygen, mineral salts. Basically the mineral salts we take when we drink water. And these mineral salts help in reacting or help in different kind of chemical reaction inside our body, and it helps for digestion also. That means here also chemical reaction occur when we take food and when we take water, and water it also works as solvent of various substances in the body. Water, we know that water is a universal solvent in our body. It reacts with food and it helps to digest food. Then fertilizer, nitrogen under what kind of fertilizer? If we use urea, then plant get nitrogen from that. we know about macro and micro elements which are needed for plants for their growth, and through fertilizer basically we provide that micro and macronutrients. Nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, potassium, these are the mainly the macro and micro elements. There are another elements also, 16 micro and macronutrients are present. Here some are mentioned. The elements are highly necessary for plants. Different fertilizers contain compounds of these substances. As a result, the fertilizer act as nutrients and help get a food crop, good crop. That means when we applied this fertilizer to the soil, it react with the soil and water, and the main basic macro and micronutrients will release in the soil, and plant take that macro and micronutrients. That means here also a chemical reaction occur. Now come to the relation between chemistry and other branches of science. Chemistry is a branch of science, so it is closely related with other branch of science, especially with biology and then physics, then mathematics. In case of biology, if we consider photosynthesis, photosynthesis is basically a chemical process. How it is a chemical process? Plants take carbon dioxide from air and water from soil, and with the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, the reaction occur between carbon dioxide and water, and then food, that means glucose, will produce by this reaction. That means it is basically a chemical reaction. So and all living things are depends on this photosynthesis. So our life basically depends on chemical reaction. Animal bodies synthesize the proteins of animals intake and carbon dioxide intake and produce glucose, amino acid, etc. Okay, we know that this protein helps to build our body cell. And it is very essential for our growth, and when we take protein type food, it finally produce amino acid and glucose, that means and turns into at last in ATP, that means energy from, and this process is also a kind of chemical reaction. That means with biology there is a close relation with chemistry. Then come to physics. If we consider the chemical reaction, or if we consider the battery used for getting electricity is contribution of chemistry. Chemical reaction occur inside the battery and energy or electron will produce. That means here also a chemical reaction occur, and in physics as it is related with electron, so it is under physics. So chemistry is related with physics. Chemistry is also depend on physics. That means physics is related with chemistry. Now chemistry is depend on physics. How it depends? Let's see. Physical chemistry is a branch of chemistry, the theories of which are essentially depend on theories and formula of physics. Now come to mathematics. When you read your next chapter, then you will understand that you have to calculate the amount of electron, proton, or you have to calculate the amount of molecule which are present in the chemical reaction. That means as you are calculating the amount, it is related with mathematics. Mathematics has a close relationship with chemistry. Mathematical theories and formula act as the base of all formulas and measurements of chemistry. Now come to the importance of studying chemistry. In our everyday life, chemistry is related with us very closely. We use fertilizer to increase fertility of field, use insecticides to keep away insects from our crop, preservatives to stop the food, to store the food for a long time. This way the whole process of food and cultivation is depend on chemistry. And also we have discussed about our digestion system and production of electricity, how it is related with chemistry. But we have to know, we need a clear concept of chemistry. If we use any, here if we specific amount of insecticides are helpful for the crop production, but if we provide more amount of chemical, then it will be harmful for plants. Then preservatives are good for food preservation, but if we use extra amount of preservatives, then it will be harmful for our body. So importance of studying chemistry is very essential, or studying chemistry is very much essential, because you have from studying chemistry you have come to know how much amount of chemical compounds are necessary for doing anything. Now come to the process of research in chemistry. Some important scientists in this field are Einstein, Newton, Archimedes, Lavoisier, Galileo. Now science is the knowledge which is gleaned out of systematic experiment. The process to glean knowledge by experimenting is known as research, and one who carries out such research is a scientist. That means, as chemistry is a branch of science, you have to do the experiment in a systematic way. Then that process will be known as research, and who carry this research are known as scientists. Now come to here, you have to follow here this how you will do the systematic experiment. Here the description are given. Here the outline throws which step you have to follow to do a systematic experiment. Look here, the steps are topic selection. At first you have to select the topic, then acquiring relevant information, planning of experiment, how you will continue or your experiment, and which things are necessary for this experiment. You have to at first you have to consider that. Then experiment, you have to do the experiment. Data collection and analysis, it is very important. Result and resolution. Then this is the steps, systematic steps of doing any experiment, scientific experiment on chemistry. Now see safety measure in chemistry laboratory and in use of chemicals. The place where scientific experiments are held is called the laboratory. Now, that means laboratory is a place where scientific experiment will take place, and when in this laboratory chemical chemical experiment will occur, then it is known as chemistry laboratory. Similarly, the place where experiments of chemistry are held is known as chemistry laboratory. And in chemistry laboratory, acid, base and other very sensitive elements are kept. So it is very essential to follow some safety rules, especially to use some equipments which are very important for doing chemical experiment. They are aprons, goggles, gloves, masks. These are very important. You have to use this, and in your practical class also you have to use apron and gloves and these masks. These three are essential for your chemistry experiment. When we start our practical, you have to use this. Now come to the last topic, and it is very much important for you. From this part, your creative question, your 1 mark question, knowledge based question will come, and objective also come from here. Let's start. Here science and their explanation identifying risks. Here some symbol are given, and which symbol indicate what things are given here. Look here, first one, this symbol is indicate explosive substance. We need to be very careful about this substance. We must keep in mind that friction and fire may cause serious explosion from this, which will be harmful for our body as well as the laboratory. We need extreme caution in handling this. TNT, organic periodics, then nitroglycerin, etc. are such kind of substance. That means these are the example of some explosive substance. Look here, these are the example of explosive substance, and when handling this we have to be very careful. Any kind of carelessness can causes a great explosion. Then flammable substance, alcohol, ether, etc. are flammable. Alcohol and ether, and also which we are randomly use now, hand sanitizer, also a flammable substance. So when you use any hand sanitizer, don't go in touch of fire. It is flammable and it can causes burn. These are catch fire quickly, therefore we need to keep them away from the fire or heat. Then toxic substance, these symbols are very important. The question or your objective will come giving this symbol. Toxic substance with this sign are poisonous. If we come in touch with them or inhale them, they may cause harm to our body. Benzene, chlorobenzene, methanol, etc. are such substances. We must wear apron, hand gloves and safety goggles when handling them. Here some example are given. This is important. Okay, then come to this symbol, irritate substance. Center dust, light, acid, base, nitrous oxide, etc. Causes irritation on skin, eyes and breathing system. We must wear apron, hand gloves and safety goggles when handling them. They can causes itching in our body. And also they can causes slight burn in our body. So basically in case of light acid, so we have to be very careful when handling this. Hazardous substance, direct contact on skin or inhalation of such substance may causes short or long term harm to our health. They may affect our breathing system or even causes disease like cancer. Benzene, toluene, xylene are such substance. Here benzene, toluene, xylene are example of hazardous substance. We must wear apron. That means we have to take the safety. We have to follow the safety rules when handling this. Then radioactive substance. Some radioactive substance is also helpful for us, but they have some negative points also. We use many radioactive substances for cancer treatment, and cancer can also occur by this. This substance emit harmful rays which may causes disease like cancer or disable somebody. We need to be extremely cautious in handling this. Uranium, radium, etc. are of this kind. these are the important thing, and this uranium, radium are used in nuclear power plant, and that's why from nuclear power plant radiation can occur, and this is very sensitive thing. Now come to this symbol indicate dangerous for environment. Substances with this sign are dangerous for the environment, meaning them harm both animals and plants. They require caution when in use. Again, they have to be gathered in a place after use. They have to be recycled as much as possible. That's why they cannot do much harm to the environment. In every battery, it is if you see very carefully, they are given that you don't throw the battery in the dustbin. You have to throw the battery in a specific place, because from battery heavy material and acid or toxic substance can spread in the environment, and it can causes harm for both animal and plants. That's why in case of any substance in which body that indication are given, you have to throw them in a specific place. Corrosive. This causes injury to body in contact. Inhalation of such substance may causes injury inside the body. Hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid are the example of this kind. These are the acid, and acid are hydrophilic substance. They take water from any things. So if it come in the contact with our skin, then it take immediately water from our skin, and our cell will die. Our skin cell will die. That's why we have to take necessary safety rules or safety. We have to be very careful about our safety equipments for handling corrosive things. Now let's do the exercise. Which of the following substance is used for preserving processed food for a long time? Here the option is preservatives, vinegar, ethylene, acetylene. Look here, preservatives. It is given in your book. What does the following symbol indicate? Look here, this symbol is given in the box, and it is flammable substance. Then which of the following sign indicate a radioactive substance? Radioactive substance. If you observe in the above chart, you can see that the last one, which of the following means is metals is melted and mixed with copper to produce benzene. In your first lecture, we have read this. It is tin. If we mixture copper with tin, then we can produce bronze. We can produce bronze, and this is used in many weapons. Bronze. Okay. Dear students, we have finished our class for today. I hope you have understood today's topic. There is a SW for you. Your SW number 1. Your SW number 1. You have to do 5 knowledge based question. 5 knowledge based question from page number 13 to 14. From these 2 pages you have to do 5 knowledge based question. Is your SW number 1. Your SW number 1, and you have to submit it in next class. Okay, next week. 5 knowledge based question from page number 13 and 14. That means from this chart and this chart you have to do 5 knowledge based question. I hope you have understood today's topic. Keep practicing at home, stay at home and stay safe. Thank you.